Today's social media segment is brought to you by Parabon General Health Systems, modern technology, and timeless caring. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bourke, know your rights. South Louisiana Bank, it's better when we bank together. Waits and Downer, attorneys at law. Terrebonne Ford, built Ford tough. Alford and Associates, for all of your insurance needs. CIS, Cardiovascular Institute of the South, the highest quality cardiovascular care available. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality. All right, welcome back to Bayou Time. We appreciate Trooper Ross Brennan, as always, coming to the station and giving us information, as we can tell you about an Assumption man that's missing after a crash. And good to see you, Trooper Brennan.
Same to you, sir.
Know y'all been busy.
A little bit.
Yeah,
Yes,
tell
sir.
us about this Assumption man that went missing after a crash, if you could.
So March 2nd, kind of around 4 o'clock in the morning, Troop C responded to a call for service of a vehicle in the Bayou. So preliminary investigation found that a 64-year-old Gilbert Bunch Jr. of White Castle and another passenger were driving on Highway 398 in the Labdeville area. And as they were coming up to Highway 1, there was a stop sign there. And for reasons still under investigation, Mr. Bunch failed to stop for the stop sign, crossed over the highway, and drove into Bayou Lafourche. The weather, it was pretty foggy that night. That might have been a factor, but the car went into the bayou. It was partially submerged. The passenger was able to get out the vehicle and swim towards the bank to safety. At that point, there was first responders started to show up on scene and stuff like that. And the last seeing of Mr. Bunch was that he was out of the water near the vehicle, and then the vehicle became submerged fully inside the water. Thinking that maybe he might have still been inside the vehicle or something on that line. They were able to recover the vehicle out the water, but Mr. Bunch was not found inside of it. So at that point, we started surveying the water, looking potentially if he was in the water. We even had Wildlife and Fisheries come out, the fire department from the area, the Assumption Sheriff's Office, Lafourche Parish Sheriff's Office. We were all out there trying to search for him. We searched for him for quite a couple of days, and we couldn't locate him. I mean, we even brought out specialized equipment that was sonar on some boats. They even had canines that can smell for people. We even utilized those equipment, but still we can't find Mr. Bunch after this crash here. So we are kind of asking the members of the community if they were to see something or know anything about this crash, please contact Troop C at 985-857-3680. Whether anything prior to the crash or maybe something after, and even if you live downstream, like towards Lafourche Parish and stuff like that. Again, if you see anything that might look a little suspicious or might be something that we might be interested in knowing, please give us a call.
But I mean, it comes to mind, and it's the first thing that comes to mind. There's no suspicion maybe that he made it through and was dazed and swam to the bank and got up and got away?
Yeah, that's something that, well, I mean, we're still trying to figure out. I said we use sonar and also the cadaver dogs as well, the canines, and we weren't able to get no leads with that. So again, it's maybe with the current or whatever that might have been, we're still trying to figure out where exactly Mr. Bunch is at.
Well, water is always a treacherous thing when you're dealing with a crash and it's like water sort of does what it wants to, doesn't it?
Yeah, most definitely.
Wow. So once again, they could call you at 857-3680. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah, that's correct. And whenever the menu option comes up, just press 0 for extension 0 to talk with the front desk supervisor.
Okay. There. Let's talk a little bit about the fog while I have you here, because it's been, maybe it's normal, but it seems like recently we've had a lot of fog. How problematic has that been for y'all?
I mean, most recently, even with the wildfires that we had with the marsh fires, we had some mornings where that fog was mixing with that smoke and making that, the super fog is what they want to call it. So, I mean, within the last couple of months, we dealt with some low visibility, but I know further down south, like down around the roads and stuff like that, they'll have issues where that sea fog kind of rolls in. It causes pretty much almost zero visibility. So look, if you find yourself in that situation, first off, if it's during the daytime, especially at night, make sure you have your headlights on, because one, it allows the other motorists to potentially see you. Definitely reduce that speed down for sure, because if there is a crash in front of you or object in the roadway, by going that slower speed, you might be able to react to it a little bit better, because visibility is already out, right? Especially with that dense fog. So maybe by going a little bit slower, if you do happen to come up on something, you can maybe react a little better to it. But if you're driving, I always tell people to look at that white line on the side of the road, that fog line. So if you're having a hard time trying to see where that road is, maybe look for that white line on the side of the road. That way you kind of have an idea of where your lane is, where the edge of the roadway is, trying to stay on track. And look, if you don't feel comfortable driving in it, maybe pull off on the shoulder, or maybe try to plan your route a little bit different, maybe leave a little bit later so that sun can come out and kind of burn off that fog a little bit. That way you can kind of get to your destination a little bit more comfortably.
And you make a good point about pulling over, but when you hit that dense fog, I mean, it's so important that you're going slow, because I know some people think they're invincible and they roll through it 60, 70 miles an hour and they hit the dense fog where you can't see anything. Sometimes it makes people panic, and they don't know which way to go. And if you're on a narrow highway, it can make a big difference. Most
definitely. And there's actually a state law that, you have to drive at a reasonable speed that's safe for the current roadway conditions. So the speed limit, that is there for good sunny days or clear visibility and not water on the road or things like that. So you actually have to reduce your speed to what's appropriate for the current conditions. You actually could be cited for even going the speed limit if the weather conditions are so poor where the speed limit is not a safe speed to be going. I mean, most recently, I-55 around New Orleans, they had that massive pileup. That's the largest crash that state police ever investigated. It was 163 cars involved with 7 fatalities. On that stretch of interstate out there, maybe people were going a little bit slower. Well, they might have crashed. They might have still collided with each other, but maybe going that slower speed, the injuries wouldn't have been as severe, and you may have had some more people that survived from that collision.
Yeah, you might have a sore back, but you're not dead.
Exactly.
I guess that's a hard way to put it, but I appreciate you coming by. Let's bring up the graphic one more time, Jay, on the missing man, Gilbert Bunch Jr., 64 years old, 5'6", 165 pounds, last seen wearing dark-colored clothing. You can call the Louisiana State Police Troop C at 985-857-3680. Trooper Brennan, good seeing you again.
Same to you, sir.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll be right back. Don't go away. Today's social media segment is brought to you by Parabon General Health Systems, modern technology and timeless caring. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bourke, know your rights. South Louisiana Bank, it's better when we bank together. Waits and Downer, attorneys at law. Terrebonne Ford, built Ford tough. Alford and Associates, for all of your insurance needs. CIS, Cardiovascular Institute of the South, the highest quality cardiovascular care available. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality.